So what I look at is active versus pending listings. So when the pending listings are going up in ratio to active listings, then it's more of a seller's market, or yeah, more of a seller's market. And then when they're going down in relation to the active listings, it's more of a buyer's market. So what that means is, like, for example, you have 100, or let's say you have 1,000 properties listed on the market and 100 of them are pending. If you track that market over the next 4 weeks, for example, and the listings stay the same and the pendings are going up, that means it's a seller's market. More properties are going under contract every week. But let's say the pendings are staying roughly the same and the listings are going up. That means the listings are stagnating and they're just sitting there and they're not selling. So that's more of a buyer's market. So that's a very simple way that you can do it. You can also look at tools like on Zillow. There's a tool called Housing Alerts you can check out, but that's a paid tool. But that's just a very simple way to look at it. And you can also do another calculation where you find out like the average amounts, or sorry, the months of inventory that you have on your market. So for example, if you look at a certain city and there were 10 properties sold within the last 5 months, then that means on average 2 properties sell per month, right? So then if you look on the market and you have 20 properties for sale in that specific city, then that means you have 10 months of inventory, right? So then you can kind of look at that and see how many months of inventory. The more months of inventory, the kind of the colder your market is, or more of a buyer's market. So yeah. But what do you have to
Yeah.
say on?
Well, I was going to say you can probably use ChatGPT also and just say, this zip code, what's the market like? And they'll probably do
Yeah.
that work for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, that's true.
AI is brilliant, but like, what's the market like in this zip code or that zip code, or, is it a buyer's or a seller's market? And they probably give you data to back it up, and the whole thing, because there are
Yeah.
tools in our sites and stuff, and you can go to, boardofrealtors.com or whatever. There's a lot of different sites that you can go to. Realtor.com has stuff. A lot of sites have stats. Or you could probably just ask AI and just be like,
Yeah.
I'm in this market. Is it a buyer's or a seller's market right now? What are the current trends? What are the trends over the last 6 months? You probably get the information that you want.
Yeah, definitely use ChatGPT for any questions like that for more data and stuff behind it. But yeah, I have one of my VAs does that for me every week in all the counties we work in. He tracks the active versus pending listings, and it's cool to look at. Like this year, we were kind of like beginning of the year, we were going gradually up, and then in the spring, we were like, in terms of a hot market, it was getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and then it really took a huge dip around April, May, and now it's going down every single week. So it's very interesting to look at that. So it's becoming, what I mean by that, it's becoming more of a buyer's market every single week. So that's interesting to look at. But yeah, great question, and thank you for dropping your questions, Denzel.